Is there a power imbalance in your relationship? Does one partner have more control over the other? A lot of work has been done with this in the field of psychology, and what we find is the person who is without power, or there's an incredible imbalance of power, that person usually ends up feeling rejected, alone, and they're usually more prone to acting out in some way with another partner, bringing them potentially back into the relationship. Power imbalances are really important that couples take a look at them and continually ask themselves if their relationship is out of balance. Now, they're not all negative. Sometimes if there's an initial imbalance of power, the other partner will rise up. They'll learn skills. They'll get better. Maybe it's been a person who's been a little bit more passive, never had to stand on their own. So this is an opportunity for them to stand up and speak out. But other times, it's a specific, more manipulative form of where one person feels, well, I'm the head of the house. This is how it was done in my family. And that's going to lead to a very unhealthy relationship with you if they continue that in your relationship going forward. So I've listed some items that I think are important to question yourself in your relationship if you have an unhealthy power dynamics right now going on in between you and your partner. So I have more to say than my partner does when we make decisions in our relationship. I have more control over decision making than my partner does in our relationship. When we make a decision in our relationship, I get the final say. I have more influence than my partner does on decisions in our relationship. I have more power than my partner when deciding about issues in our relationship. I am more likely than my partner to get my way when we disagree about issues in my relationship. My partner typically accepts what I want when we make decisions in this domain of the relationship. My partner tends to give into my preferences when we disagree about a decision in this domain. My partner has more say than I do when we make decisions in our relationship. My partner has more control over decisions made than I do in our relationship. When we make decisions in our relationship, my partner gets the final say. My partner has more influence than I do on directions or decisions in our relationship. My partner has more power than me when deciding what issues are important in our relationship. If you have any of these going on in your relationship, I have just described a very unhealthy, balanced relationship. It's important that the two of you come to the truth about this. What I would suggest is that you sit down together and you say, look at this, these are our answers. And when you do this, don't just do it on your own. Or if you have split shifts, you do it on your own and then let your partner do it. It's very eye-opening, like, oh my gosh, I said yes to most of those. If you have the majority of yeses, then that means this relationship needs work in balancing the power. The number one thing that happens when there's not a balance is that one person will feel like they can't trust the other person. They'll feel weaker than the other person. They'll feel dismissed. And that is the kind of thinking, of feeling about yourself that you start looking elsewhere. Because this person or this imbalance of power makes you more passive. It may make you angry, but you'll get more passive towards your partner and you'll act out more with someone else. And so part of divorce proofing or cheat proofing your relationship would be to go through this imbalance of power. Shared power is what you're going for. And so I want you to listen to these. You may have a few of these even if you're in an imbalanced relationship, but the fewer of these you have, the more work you need to do at establishing that balance. So here are some key elements that provide a healthy balance of power. Attention when both partners feel their emotional needs are being met. influence, when both partners have the ability to engage in and emotionally affect one another. Accommodation, while there may be times when where the partner's needs may be put above the others. In a time of tragedy, for example, most decisions are made jointly. Respect, when each partner has positive regard, respect, and admiration for the humanity of the other person. Selfhood, when each partner maintains a positive value of self and is able to do their own thing and feel good about it, both people will function better in and outside the relationship. They'll cast a better view of the relationship. They're prouder of the relationship. Vulnerability, each partner is willing to admit fault, weakness, or uncertainties within themselves. And fairness, when partners feel that the responsibilities and duties in their lives are divided in a way that supports each person. Now that's a healthy balance of power. So what you want to do is, if you have any of the positive ones, you want to make note of that too, so that will kind of lift you both, and you'll be like, okay, well, we're not completely destroyed, but we do have to work on these imbalances. If imbalances continue, then what ends up happening is one person, usually one partner, will sabotage the relationship, and you'll end up in marriage therapy for something such as betrayal or cheating, or your partner just leaves or ghosts you, and you're asking why. Well, what is the problem at that time? The cheating or the ghosting or the betrayal takes precedence. But underneath all of that, for many years possibly, was the imbalance of power. So don't let an imbalance of power continue. Address it when you watch this video and start resolving it now. If this video is helpful to you, I'm asking you to please subscribe. And for all of you who are already subscribers, I want to say thank you.